Hi everyone! So today I'm going to show you how I made this balaclava. So the one in the intro I used a 5.5mm hook, but for the one I'm making today, I'm making it a little smaller with a 4.5. So I'm going to start by showing you how I make my granny squares, and what I do is I do a slip knot, and this is just an easy way I learned how to make that. And then you're going to chain 4. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to slip stitch into that very first chain that we made. And then that's going to create a little loop that we're going to work into. Instead of a chain 3, I do a stacked double crochet, so we're going to work into that hole that I'm pointing to, and I do a single crochet. And then in this very first post of the single crochet, you're going to do a single crochet right on top of it. And I think that just looks a little cleaner than a chain 3, but you can do whatever. And then you're going to make 2 more double crochets in that same hole that we made. And then after that, we're going to chain 2 and then do 3 more double crochets, all in that first hole. After those 3, we're going to chain 2, do another 3 double crochets in the same space. And then finally, we're going to chain 2 and do another set of the 3 double crochets. And then in total, you should have 4 clusters of double crochets. And then if you've seen my other videos, you already know, but I change colors a little differently. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your scissors and cut about an inch away from where you just ended. And we're going to do the magic knot join. So you're going to take your hook out and then undo the last double crochet that you did, and you're going to grab the yarn that you want to change colors to, and you're going to tie the old yarn around it in a knot. So as I'm doing here, we tie that, pull it really tight, and then you're going to take the tail of the new yarn and make a little knot around the old yarn. And what this is going to do is it's going to slide them together, and you're going to end up with the new yarn that you want to use, which will make sense in a second. So pull opposite directions, and they slide, and then you're going to cut off those 2 little tails. Make sure you're not cutting the knot. And then after you do that, if you pull them apart, they should stay. And I do this with literally any time I change colors. And so you're going to go back in that last double crochet and make that final double crochet that we undid. And then you're going to chain 1. And if you see, we are at the new color. And so with the new color, we're going to slip stitch into that stacked double crochet that we made. And then that completes round 1. And so you're going to pull that first string really tight, and that just closes up that little hole. And then in that corner, we're making another stacked double crochet, or a chain 3, whatever. And then 2 more double crochets in that same corner. Then you're going to go to the next corner and do 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're chaining 2, and then another set of 3 double crochets. And then we're going to do this all the way around. So there's that corner. In the next corner, 3 double crochets. And I kind of sped it up for you, but it's a chain 2, 3 more double crochets, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Sorry, it's really repetitive. And then in the last one, since we already have our first set, we just do 3 double crochets, and then I always just chain 1 for the very last one. We chain 1. I'm not changing colors on this round, so we're slip stitching into the top of that stacked double crochet, and then making another stacked double crochet in this corner. And then same thing, 2 double crochets. In the next spot, just 1 set of 3 double crochets. And then in the corner, we got 2 sets followed with a chain 2 in between. So there's the 3, and then we chain 2, and then 3 more. And then you're going to follow this all the way around. Alright, so we're back at that last corner, and we just do our final 3 double crochets, and then a chain 1, and we're going to slip stitch into that top stacked double crochet. And then same magic knot method, I'm snipping off about an inch, grabbing the new color I want to change to, undoing the last double crochet, and then we tie a knot to the new yarn, and then we're going to tie a knot to the old yarn. We're pulling it apart, snipping the ends, and you're at the new color. And then I'll show you guys this the final time, and then it's the same every time you change your color. And I use it for everything. So here I am tying the new yarn onto the old yarn. And then we pull it apart, they slide together, we cut the little tails. And this just saves you from having to weave in ends because that's my least favorite thing to do. We snip those off and we're ready to go. So into the hook back in, last double crochet, we chain 1, we slip stitch into the top, and then I use this color for 2 rounds, doing the exact same thing as we did in the very last round. So our stacked double crochet, and 2 double crochets in the same corner, double crochet set of 3, and then I'm gonna meet you guys after I finish 2 rounds of this color. So here we are after the 5th round, and I'm going to change into the brown color, and then this round is pretty self-explanatory. I do just do one thing different. So I have the new color, I finish my double crochet, and then I chain 1, we slip stitch, all of that is the same. The main thing I do different is in the first corner, I do my stacked double crochet, and then I only do 1 double crochet in that same corner instead of doing 2. And then I just follow as normal all the way around, and then at the very end I will show you what I do. But you can do it either way. I just think it looks a little cleaner this way. So I'll kind of speed through this round for you. Okay, so we're back at the first corner, and I do the 3 double crochets, and then I chain 2 and do 1 double crochet, and that just leaves like a cleaner corner for if you're connecting. And then I slip stitch into the first stack double crochet, and then I cut off the yarn. So just snipping off the yarn, fastening off, pulling it through, and then so we have a total of 6 rounds, and then that measures out to be 6 inches. And then you're going to make 4 of them in this color the exact same, and then I make 4 in the opposite colors but using the exact same method. and then I'm going to show you how to assemble. So this is going to be the very back of the neck, and then this is the side piece. In the other side of the neck, it'll be folded, and then that will be the front, and so that will be a loop. And then we have the side of the head, the other side of the head. This one, you flip it because it's going to be the back of the head. There's going to be nothing right there because that's where your face is going to go. And then this is going to be the top of your head. And sorry, it's super zoomed in. I could not figure it out. But I will show you how we sew all this together. But right here is where your face is going to go, and there's not going to be a square. So we're going to slip stitch the first two together using a contrasting color. It doesn't have to be contrasting. I just like contrasting colors. But we're making a slip knot, and we're putting it on our hook. And then you're going to grab the first two that you want to connect. And what you're going to do is in the chain, like one of the chain two spaces, I'm using the one closest to the side that we're working on, if that makes sense. I'm using the back loop only, and we're gonna go slip stitching through both sides. And I'm so sorry that I am not describing this how my brain is thinking it, but it makes more sense as I go. So the next one, you're going to go in the back loop, or the loop closest to the other square, and you're going to insert your hook, and then in the corresponding loop on the other square, you're putting it in the back loop as well, or the closest one to the other square, and then we just yarn over it and pull through all of the loops. So back loop, yarn over, pull through everything. And this was so hard to record. But we are doing this the entire way down. You can join them however you want, so you could just like sew it by hand. I just like the color showing through, so that's why I did it this way. But you literally just do this all the way down. So back loop, yarn over, pull through everything. Kind of keep it loose or else it will kind of dent, and I didn't want that. So just like don't have really tight tension when you're doing this as well. And if you're worried about your tension, you could just up a hook size and then keep it kind of tighter because that won't let it dent as well. But it's easier as you go along. So if you see here, if you pull them apart, they're like sewn together and you get this cute little stitch showing. So I'll speed it up for you, but like I said, we're doing this all the way down. And remember, just going in the back loop keeps it super clean. And sorry for going out of frame. I like could not see the stitches. But here we are at the end. You go into the first chain two space, so just like one of the chains, and then go in the back loop of both of those, leaving the other chain of the chain two undone. And then you snip off, and then you just do the exact same thing. So for this one, same method, you just go in the back loop, back loop of the first, back loop of the second, yarn over and pull through everything. And then you're just going to follow this all the way down until the end, same as the first one. Okay, so here you're seeing the vision. This is like the neck collar part, and then we have the last one to do. So I already joined it to one side, but instead of like adding a new piece of yarn, I'm just going to immediately do the second round. So this will be like the back of the head. So you, instead of fastening off when you were done with the first two, you just immediately grab the next two and then the exact same thing. So you join in the back loop of the chain one, or technically the chain two, but just one of the chains, and then immediately start slip stitching the next round together. And it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. And you're welcome to just do a new piece of yarn. I just, like I said, hate weaving in ends, so this kind of saves me from having to like do another one. So as you can see, I did it all the way up, and then we're doing the exact same thing for the other side. So here we go. All of them are done for the second round. And then we're going to slip stitch them together horizontally. So you're going to start where I just pointed, and then it's going to go all the way through the back, and then end on the side. And then this is just kind of an easier way to say it. You're just going to do like a straight line. So we're going to be using both of the chains this time. So go in the very first chain in the back loop still. And then you're going to connect in the back loop of the chain two that we didn't use for like the face. I'm so sorry this doesn't make sense. I'm really trying. But go in the next chain, and then that's where it's going to be as normal, where you're going in the back of this chain, and then on the one that you're about to slip stitch to, the unused chain. And then we slip stitch as normal, still staying in the back loop. Nothing new here, but I will show you when it's like a corner spot what I do, but it will all really look the same as long as you just slip stitch all the way through. So here we're coming up on a corner. So what I do is I go in the unused chain, so the first chain, and I put my hook in, and then I go in the unused chain of the square that we're connecting to, and we're yarning over, pulling through everything, and then you go over the vertical line that you already made, and we're putting our hook in the back loop of the unused chain, and then unused chain of the new one. And here you see I kind of have my yarn on the wrong side, so I undid it. You want the yarn to stay in the middle, and that's what keeps like the clean line. So it just went right over the vertical one, and then back as normal, back loop, slip stitch, and we continue that all the way till the end. Alright, so here we are almost done. We just have to connect the top piece, and this one is the same as normal, except you're going to be connecting to 3 sides, leaving the last one undone because there's nothing to connect it to. But it will be like 3 continuous sides. So here's how it looks from the side, and then to get the vision, this will be like the top, and it's going to lay flat against all of these sides that we already have. So there, that's the back, the side, and then open in the front. So that's how I have it. I did not fasten off though, and we're just going to immediately go into single crocheting around the face. So what you do, I chained 1, and then I single crochet into every single stitch. So like here I am single crocheting in the chain. Little tight, but there we go. And then I'm single crocheting, and then single crochet in the top of every single stitch. Pretty self-explanatory, but here we go. And I'm truly sorry because I know how some people have like a really good narrating voice. I have whatever they call the opposite of that. I do not feel like it's soothing or that people want to hear it, but I don't know how else to do it. So here with the corner, that was just a mild rant, but what I do is I am going to decrease, so I go in the first chain and then the next square, and then I single crochet decrease, and then I go in the same like corner square, and then I do another decrease into the new square. And then, not that this really does anything, but I think it kind of gives it more of like a rounded look around the face. And then here I'm going to start crocheting over this tail. So I just like keep it next to where you're single crocheting and just single crochet around it for a few stitches. I will never just single crochet, or yeah, like single crochet over something and then cut it. So I just do a couple stitches, and then when I'm done I will go back in and then weave it in a few more times. But I'm also psycho, so I have to, if I don't do that, then in my head everything will come undone. So I always go like 3 times back and forth with the ends that I'm weaving. But do that method all the way around, and then we're going to single crochet once we get to the end into the very first single crochet we made. Or I mean, we're going to slip stitch into the end. And then we just single crochet around the bottom the exact same way. I don't decrease anything in the bottom though. I go into every single chain space, every stitch. And then here we have it. Let me know if you end up making one. Again, this is the 4.5mm hook. This is the first one that I made, the 5.5. This is the 4.5. And just how they look on me. Let me know if you make one. Bye!